Okay, so this is a recording mostly for Wendy, but for anyone else who is interested on how I do my roast vegetables, maybe the chicken as well, but we'll start with the vegetables. Today I've just got a small onion. I'm assuming that's on camera. Cool. I've just got a small onion, some sweet potato, some green beans, carrots, and white potato. So that's what I'll be using. All right, a little bit nervous, so who knows how this is going to go, especially showing how I cook and knowing that I probably do it wrong. People will tell me I do it wrong. So I tend to just do the onion first, and I just do a very basic dicing of it. I'm not very good at this stuff, so I just kind of go with what seems to kind of work for me, in a way of just kind of like dicing the stuff up relatively easily. So usually I just kind of chop it. My knife probably needs sharpening, but I don't know how to do that, so I don't. I like using this little knife. I know a lot of people prefer bigger knives. In other cases I use bigger knives, but for this I find that the smaller one works fine. So basically the reason I'm doing it this way is I don't like roasted onion, like the soft, when you should roast like a half an onion or a whole onion. I don't like that very much. I prefer just to have some kind of onion flavour, but also the onion is sort of a bit of a burnt offering in my roast veggies, in that these little diced ones will kind of caramelise and burn. Maybe not caramelise isn't the right word, but like burn fairly easily, and in that way add a bit of kind of crunchiness and stuff, but they also retain some of that oniony flavour, so you just get a little bit, but it's mild. I found that the small onions tend to work best. I was using a large onion for a while, but it was just too much. So this isn't like very fine, it's just kind of roughly chopped. That's good enough. And then I'll just use a wooden spoon thingy. Are these a wooden spoon, or are these a wooden utensil? I don't know what they are. I think my mum said she got this one for me in, I don't know, like it's maybe India? I'm gonna have to ask her, or Africa, somewhere. I've got a thing. I've suddenly become someone who likes wooden spoons and stuff, and so I've got like a little collection of them now that Mum's amassed for me. So these ones are also, I think, maybe from Germany or somewhere, or England. Those ones are. I very rarely use the bowl-shaped ones though. I tend to prefer these flatter ones, and this size one's been my favourite currently. This is a one from a local woodworker who my sister's cafe, Told You So, stocks, and so Mum got me this for Christmas, and I didn't think I'd like it because it's a weird little thing, but it's become one of my favourite and most practical utensils. It's just good. Like, it's good to stir things in. You'll see me use it, but like, yeah, I just found it really kind of helpful. So I'm just putting the onion in the bowl. I don't know how people do this for a living, like cooking videos and stuff. I find cooking so stressful, so this is a pretty big deal. So I'm using just olive oil. I don't use anything special or fancy. And basically I know with this particular bowl, for this size bowl and how I like my stuff, I kind of just have a little, it fills up like, I don't even know how much, half a centimetre of stuff, and so that's just then going to be in there to coat the veggies. Might do some beans next. I found that roasting these beans has been fine for me. Again, I don't mind them kind of overcooked, or if they're a bit black or whatever. I might just give these a quick rinse. But generally they stay pretty fine, especially the bigger ones. They still seem to come out okay. So I just top and tail these ones because I don't really know. I don't know, I just don't like the ends really. It's probably the truth of it. I don't know if they're fine to use, but that's what I do. This is a more recent addition, adding in something green, just because the green veggies usually roast poorly, at least the way I do it. So I hadn't really had any, but the beans seem to be working pretty good, and I can just put kind of as much as I feel like having on that day in. None of my method here has any kind of strict guidelines. It's all just intuition, and now I just repeat roughly what I've done before. And just kind of keep it simple. And today I was going to do very basic veggies because I'm going to put more flavour in the chicken, which I will think I will show as well. Yeah, alright, so this is just pretty basic. I don't even know if you can hear me. I'm just using my iPhone, got no idea. No microphone, no nothing. I didn't get peeler. Alright, so now I'll do a couple of carrots. One thing I still struggle with is getting the right amount. I seem to always overcook, but anyway. So I like peeling the carrots just because I'm not a big fan of the peel. So I'm just going to do that. And what I've learnt with this particular way of roasting is that the bigger, cutting them larger doesn't really matter, and in fact it tends to, it may even be good. I used to cut carrots fairly small, even when roasting, but I'm now finding I prefer the larger versions. Alright, so then I just kind of cut these up, get rid of the tops and ends. For some reason these carrots have a bit of green in them, which, I don't know, it might be fine, but it kind of irks me, so I tend to cut that out. Usually, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say, usually I try and buy smaller carrots, but this is the, and these are just random ones. I'm also using the imperfect ones, which means they're all kind of weird sizes. Alright, so I'm kind of just cutting these up into chunks of yay big. I don't know what you'd say, that maybe an inch. Because I'm Australian, so I'm going to use inches, why not? But then if it's thinner, I will cut them into bigger pieces. So they're all kind of roughly the same mass. Alright, so the sweet potato. Now normally I've been buying smaller sweet potatoes, but my dad got these the other day, so they're quite big, which is fine, but I found that I've preferred cutting up smaller ones, so I tend to just peel and rinse these. But I've used to be really fussy about the peeling. Now I'm a little bit less fussy, and I kind of just get most of it off, but if a little bit stays in there, it's not the end of the world. I'll just see how I feel. I found this peeler really good. It's just it's good for my, like, I get sore muscles and joints and stuff, and so sometimes doing a lot of this, like cutting and chopping and peeling, is really hard. But this peeler's helped a lot, made it a bit easier. Bit of weirdness on that one. Usually I have music playing or watch a video. Whenever I watch, would have a video playing in the background, but today my phone is being used, assuming it's still recording. If it's not recording, that would be embarrassing. How do you do yours? Oh no, I just dropped something on the floor, I'll pick it up later. What's your method? For roasting stuff. Alright, let's just cut the ends off. I go through different phases. Right now I'm in this phase with the chunky ones. So basically one of my big goals is to not have to deal with the meal very much. So I want to try and just prep it, put it in the oven and forget it for an hour. That's kind of how I do it. Alright, so let's just cut these into, so these are like, I don't even know how you describe it. Again, big-ish chunks. I did do medallions this size the other day, but I think I might cut them in half today. Just don't feel like having as big ones. I've come to really like sweet potato. I mean, I've liked it for a number of years, but lately I've probably been enjoying it more than the other ingredients But you know, each day's a bit different. Oh, that's small enough, I'll just leave that. And then the only other ingredient for this is some white potatoes. The white potatoes I'm really boring on basic with it. We just buy the washed ones, so I don't do anything with them. I've found that I don't even need to wash them again. I'm usually happy with it. I just sort of cut out any dodgy bits, and then I just, similar to the sweet potato, just kind of cut them. If I don't, sometimes go for smaller pieces. So like roughly this size seems to work for me currently, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever size you choose, you just adjust your oven time. That's probably annoying for the audio. You just adjust your oven time to kind of suit. I like having them cook for between 40 minutes and an hour. Sometimes I go longer, but usually it's about 40 minutes to an hour. Sometimes I would have done the chicken first and already have the chicken in the oven now, because I kind of would rather overcook the chicken than undercook it. With the way I do it, I'm not worried about it drying out. But today I'm just going to do it all together. So again, just doing these potatoes in these kind of like inch cube sort of rough shapes, obviously not true cubes. Now the question is, have I got too much already? Do I want one more potato just because I never know how much I'm going to eat? Maybe I'll just leave it at that for today, because I've been doing too much lately and cooking too much, so let's just keep that simple. Alright, so that's all done. Now all I do is, I don't normally I would mix it over on this side. I'm going to try and bring this into the middle so it's a bit easier to see. Show me you can see it? Yeah, cool. So lately I've been adding nothing because I ran out of salt. So then I just bought some more salt. So I might add the salt in today. So there's already some oil in there. You can add, I've done seasoning. Sometimes I'll add in like lemon pepper or any other kind of seasoning that I've got. But today I'm going to put the flavor in the chicken, not in this. So that's where I'm going to focus that effort. So today I'll just put some salt in. Obviously do as much as you want or as little as you want. I've been doing it with no salt for quite a while lately. I'm putting a bunch of salt in and then I may not salt it later. The theory is, and I don't know if this is true because it's coated in oil, I'm still not sure of the science of it, but the theory is the salt might just help it kind of crisp up a little bit while it's cooking, but because I'm coating it in oil, because I'm coating it in oil, I really don't know if that's gonna, if the salt actually makes a difference. I don't know. And I'm kind of a weird person that I love salt. It's like, it's probably the main reason I eat food is so I can have salt. And so I like adding salt to my meal when I'm eating it because it's of the strongest salt flavor. When I do salt like this, I find it hard to taste the saltiness, and other people can taste it more than me. I think I've just kind of dulled my senses to salt. So now it's hard for me to tell when it's in stuff unless it's really strong. Yeah, obviously you just do what's right for you. Alright, so this is all kind of mixed through. I can see that like everything's coated in oil and little onions. So that tells me that that's pretty much done. So that's good. So now what I do is, I'm just going to have to do things a little bit different because of the camera. Let's just move that there. I've just got a roasting dish. This is a scan pan one that my parents have. It's proven to be really good. I've used a whole bunch of different ones. I was using like, you know, like whatever trays I had. This is like a pizza shaped one, but it's like a cookie tray. I've got square rectangle ones. But I found this scan pan one probably the best just because of the non-stick coating, and so it does make it easier to get the food off afterwards and to clean without having to put any kind of baking paper or foil down underneath. So I just tip this in, very not worrying about the order or how it looks right now, and then I'll just use the rest of the onions and oil. Like I said, I've got salt in this as well. Like I said, sometimes I'll add other seasoning, whether it's just normal cracked pepper or any other kind of seasoning mix. Also, depending on how I'm feeling, we'll do like, you know, herb mixes, so like an Italian herb or whatever. I don't feel like that today, so I'm not going to do it. But basically, use whatever you enjoy. All right, that's fine. I'll just get a bit more of that oil out. All right, cool, that's good enough. And then I just sort of like evenly get this out. Now I haven't cooked as much veggies as I normally do because normally I'm a greedy guts. Today I'm cooking less and hoping it works fine. So I just try and kind of spread stuff out, try and get the onions kind of coating stuff and over stuff so that it all kind of clumps together. I tend to prefer the veggies to be kind of relatively spaced out as much as they can be. Obviously, if you've got a smaller dish or more veggies for more people, then it'll be more cramped. That hasn't been a problem for me. I've found having it fully stocked is not an issue, but I know it can affect, like sometimes it'll affect how cooked, or like I'm gonna say crispy, I don't know what the right word is. Stuff more spaced out seems to sometimes just come out a little bit more crispy, but lately I've been wanting it more soft, so I haven't really worried about the crisp factor. All right, so let's just kind of spread out. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to put this to the side for now, and I'll do the chicken. If I can sort my things out. All right, I'll put these things away. So the veggies have been a success. I'm very happy with them. The chicken has been the other really positive thing that has worked quite well. So I'm going to show you that too. Let's get another container. I'm going to cook 2 pieces of chicken for this meal today. Alright, so the first part is actually the flavour. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of oil, take these out, a little bit of oil in, similar to what I did last time. I haven't yet had the guts to test it with no oil because I'm just so used to using the oil. So one of my future experiments is going to be with no oil, just see how I go, or just like a very, very small amount of oil. So again, this is just like a little piece, little bit of oil. I don't know if you can kind of see. So it's just in there. All right, so today I'm going to use all seasoning all-purpose seasoning, if I can speak. I tend to be very generous with these stuff because I find the flavor doesn't always stay on. Okay, lemon pepper, we're going to do a bunch of that. And if I was doing vegetables, I would do a very similar method of preparing it this way first, like putting it in the oil and then I'll mix it through. So I'm going to add some garlic. I just bought this yesterday or the day before, someday. Haven't tried it yet. I mean, years ago I've tried it, but not recently. So this is just going to be a experiment, obviously making it quite garlicky, but I'm okay with that. I'm not great with preparing fresh garlic. I find that difficult. So let's just add, I don't know how much it is to add, so I'll just add a generous portion, because I'm sure it's going to be fairly strong. I think I actually want some more all-purpose. This one's almost on, I need to buy some more, it's just about run out. It has run out, that's good. Did its job. Alright, so now I mix that through. So this is where my little wooden spoon has been helpful. Obviously, you use whatever utensil you have. And I want this basically to be as mixed through and together in the oil as possible. I'm just using the same pan that I have the veggies in, so it's still got some of the onion in there as well, which is kind of nice. All right, so this is all pretty mixed in. I might put some more lemon pepper in actually. I may regret that later, but for now it seems like the kind of thing I want. Alright. So this becomes almost like, depending on your ratios, it can be a bit paste-like, like it can be quite thick. This is fairly thin, this is still pretty runny. Other times I've done it, I've had the ratios different just because I'm not precise with it. Alright, so that's all kind of mixed in. I will do this chicken. Got that there. Cool. Because I'm a weirdo, I don't like touching the chicken with my hands. So I tend to avoid doing that if I can. So sorry if this is a unholy way of preparing it, but it's just what I do because of my own little weirdness. Alright, so let's get some chicken out. So the chicken I tend to keep fairly whole for this method. I just cut off any like obvious bits of fat or anything that I'm not particularly keen on. I'll explain in a second, or after I've got it going, what I'm doing here and what the other version could be that you could do. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's cut off some of this. Obviously you just don't need meat at all, just have the veggies, or if you want meat, use whatever meat you want. I'm finding the chicken is working really well for me. It's appealing to my both taste and just it's fairly easy to cook. Alright, so let's put all that in the flavour, and like I said, I'm going to do a second one because I'm going to have 2 today. Yep. Okay, so we'll just cut that off. Again, I probably should sharpen my knife. Probably make life easier. It's looking not too bad. Could probably live with that. I might just get rid of that. Again, you just cut out whatever you don't want, or don't. Have it whole. Have however you want it. Alright, so that's 2 of them, and then I basically just do the same as I did for the veggies, but this time with the flavour mix, for want of a better word. So I just kind of like mix these in the dish and this thing. Years ago, back around 2009, 2010, I was in a share house and one of the people I lived with was a chef, and he taught me the coating, like the vegetable coating thing in these kind of dishes. And obviously I've adapted my own version of it, but to use a dish like this to kind of coat everything has been really good. It keeps it fairly self-contained. It's only one thing to clean up at the end, which is good. Sometimes I have a second one if I need it, like when I had it out ready. I've got like another one if I did want to have, for some reason, them separate, or I was doing something where I felt it, it was needed. Alright, so these are all coated. So for today, I am just going to use this Tupperware roasting dish because I've found that this has been really good. This is older, it's not that big. This is a 2-litre one, but it's got a lid. So what I like about it is the lid, and what I was doing, I'll just put this in. Alright, let's just get the rest of the flavour out. This is probably not even on camera. No, just a big bowl. Lovely. Okay. So all I've got here is the chicken in this dish. I've added nothing other than the oil and the flavouring. What will happen when I'm cooking is it will actually, a lot of the water in the chicken will come out, so it'll end up with some water in there. So I just put the lid on this, and that tends to work. I'll get the lid on, there you go. So that tends to work for me, because what I'm trying to do is when I'm roasting it, I want to keep as much moisture on the chicken as possible. What I was doing for a long time, and I still sometimes jump back and forward on it, is wrapping the chicken breast in alfoil, which works really well. It works really well. It tastes really good. I have to wrap it thoroughly though, and it just feels a bit wasteful because it's like a lot of foil. And I've got this dish, which my sister gave me probably 10, 15 years ago, Tupperware thing. I don't know if they still make it, but because it's got the lid on and everything, it means that it keeps the moisture in. And I've done a couple of tests now and it's worked out okay, so this is going to be a third sort of experiment. So we will see how that goes. Alright, let me just, I'll sort this chicken out in a moment. Alright, so then all I'm going to do is, so you can see my chaotic workstation. So then what I'm going to do is put the veggies and the chicken in the oven. So I've been preheating the oven on fan forced at, what have I chosen today? 190, oh, so easy. Like, oh, come on, focus. It's about 200, 190, 200, it's like somewhere in here, Celsius. So I've been preheating it to that, and then I'm just going to put them straight in. So I'll just, I can do that one-handed. Should be fine. So in my oven, I tend to prefer the veggies. So there's your veggies down the bottom, and the chicken in the middle. But obviously, you just experiment and do whatever's right for you. Oof, doing this one-handed, definitely a new experience. Alright, that lid's on, I think. Is it on? Yeah, that seems on. Alright, cool. Okay, so they're both in. And then, literally, I'm just going to leave them for an hour. I've got it at 200. It should cook everything fine in an hour. It shouldn't burn it. If it does, well, that's bad. Sometimes I set a timer for 40 minutes to come and check on it. But what I've started doing is not touching it. So I don't open the chicken up, I don't turn the veggies, leave them as they are. And it seems to be working out pretty good. So yeah, there's the dish. Now I'm just gonna cut those chicken breasts up, put them in that dish to put them in the fridge, clean up. That's basically it. All right, I'll add to this video later with the results. Bye. All right, it's been about an hour, so I'm gonna just check on this. That's clever, I just fogged up the camera. There's the lamp. No, looking good so far. That looks pretty good to me, but I might just take it out and check it. Alright, let's just put this down here. Camera, yeah, sort of. So yeah, that seems close enough. Maybe I'll do it a little bit longer. I've got to prepare gravy and stuff, but this looks looking pretty good. All right, so here they are out of the oven. So you can see the onions all been like really cooked, kind of burnt. Beans seem okay, the other stuff seems okay. Maybe normally I'd do it another 10-15 minutes, but I just want to eat, so this will be fine. These are all pretty soft. And then this Tupperware thing isn't actually that hot. It cools down pretty quickly, but I'll just take the lid off. I have not done this yet. So you can see the moisture that's coming out of the chicken. The flavouring's all there. And then I've made some gravy, and I will be adding other things as I want, but that's the meal done. All right, bye.